Welcome back to Petes Dugout. This is episode number 16 of my FIFA 23 career mode with Coventry City, and I hope you've all enjoyed the bank holiday weekend. Yes, lovely weather today in Wales, and I hope it's been the same wherever you are in the world as well. So, we've got a huge episode coming up today, an FA Cup quarter-final against Erik ten Hag's Red Devils. We of course go into the game as clear underdogs, but we've already shown that we can compete with Premier League opposition, and scoring goals has not been an issue for us at all this season. The problem we do have, of course, is keeping goals out, and that's been made even worse by the fact that we lost Ronnie Edwards, our starting centre-back, to a knee ligament injury last time out. We've definitely got our work cut out for us today with the likes of Rashford, Sancho and Casemiro starting for Manchester United, but they have named what looks like a fairly rotated team though. You've got Brandon Williams, Alanga and Tuanzebe. Is that overconfidence from the Red Devils maybe? They do have heavy hitters Bruno, Lautaro Martinez, Varane and Antony on the bench should things go square. Despite that firepower, they're not enjoying the best season in the save so far and currently sit 9th with 28 games played. Well off the pace of European places, so they'll be hoping to scrape their way in by winning the FA Cup for sure. United unsurprisingly started the game really strong and Alanga forced an early start from Ronnie just 7 minutes in, but they kept on pressing down that right hand side and 20 minutes in they broke the deadlock. Casemiro with a lovely bit of skill finding Rashford and he has a simple tap in with Ronnie rooted to the spot. So it's a horrible start to the game from a Coventry point of view, but the early goal meant there was plenty of time to get back into it, and straight from kick-off we tried to do just that. Hamer finds space in the middle and strides forward, and he fires a 25-yard trivela over David De Gea, and everybody is stunned. It's an FA Cup goal for the ages. Gustavo Hamer gets Coventry back into the game, and what a goal that is. After the goal though, it was back to one-way traffic and United were relentless with their pressing and attacking play. First Alanga forces another good start from Ronin, then it's Alanga again who narrowly misses thanks to a deflection at the back, and he had been really lively thus far. We were riding our luck as the resulting corner is played in, and as Thomas tries to keep possession and play out from the back, Lindelof steals the ball off him and it drops to Casemiro just above the penalty spot all alone, and he makes it 2-1 to United just before half time. So United deserved their lead, but we had one more chance before the break following a corner. It's initially cleared by Axel Tuanzebe, but we keep it alive through Rose and Hamer. Hamer gives it back to Rose, who tries his luck from distance, and it's just hit the roof of the net with De Gea beaten again. So it's 2-1 at the break, and our only real chances so far came from long-range efforts on goal. So work to do in the second half, and we had to start working the ball better and getting in behind those Man United defenders. And it looked as though the team talk paid off as we win possession back and break down the left. Kim bursts down the wing and beats Tuanzebe before pulling it back to Tabsan, but he drags his effort wide of the goal. Positive play though, and I tried to remain patient in possession, trying to move the United defenders, and we work the ball down the left once again and feed it into Tabsan, who tries to wrap his foot around the shot and it's off the bar. So unlucky, and United escape again. As good as we had been in the second half though, we had to be careful on the counter, and we almost got caught out with a Rashford strike, but for another strong hand by Ronin, who had been in top form in this one. The corner is played in, and this time Thomas is able to dribble out from the back and he's away. He times a pass to Kim and once again he's in down the left hand side. He motors towards goal and De Gea makes a brilliant save to keep the score at 2-1. But with just over 5 minutes to go, I made 3 changes with Allen, Dabo and Colwell coming on as we win a free kick in a dangerous position. The initial effort from Hamer is poor, but we win it back. Dabo is fed down the left and he forces De Gea into a point-blank save, but he can only parry the ball into the air. Dabo is straight back onto the rebound and he heads home. It's 2-2. Coventry finally get back into the game, and you have to say it's deserved. And just like that, we are headed into extra time. So as we head into extra time, I felt like we had momentum for the first time in the game as Dabo spreads the ball across field. It's headed down to Gyökeres and De Gea rushes out to make a brilliant save. But the sky blue pressure continued to mount as Allen makes a superb tackle on Eriksson. Gyökeres finds Tabsan on the right and he accelerates past Luke Shaw. The Dutch winger lifts the ball into Gyökeres and Varane uses all his experience to disrupt the big Swedish international, and another chance goes begging. So it remains 2-2 as we enter the last 5 minutes of extra time. Bruno Fernandes and Martinez work the ball down the left hand side and the Portuguese international finds space in the box. He squares it to Luke Shaw of all people and he fires United into the lead with 2 minutes to go. It's heartbreak for Coventry, who had played so hard in the game. But there was time for one more attack. and it had to be perfect. United tried to push forward and Martinez loses possession where he should have been headed for the corner flag. Colwill finds Allen in the middle and his fresh legs are ready to run. He fights off the tired Dallo and breezes into the box, and he squares it to Colwill! And he gets his Aguero moment. Would you believe it? It's 3-3 with the last kick of the game, and this unbelievable cup tie heads for penalties. I wish I could tell you I was feeling confident about this penalty shootout, but I'm just not. As Gyökeres steps up to take the first penalty, and De Gea saves. It's the worst possible start. Bruno next. Oh, and Ronin saves. Luke Walton. Oh, he goes straight down the middle and De Gea guesses right. It's Martinez next for United. And Ronin saves. Oh my god, it's 0-0 after 4 penalties. Hamer steps up next. Oh my god, and De Gea saved that one as well. Ericsson next for United. What is going on? It's 0-0 after 6 penalties. Tavsan now for Coventry, surely. Yes, it's 1-0. De Gea stays rooted in the middle. Thomas Lemar now, pressure on, he has to score. And Ronin saves! He saved all 4 penalties. And just like that, Casey Palmer has the chance to send Coventry into the semi-final of the FA Cup. No pressure. And it's in! De Gea stays in the middle again and Casey Palmer wheels off in celebration. Coventry City are in the semi-final of the FA Cup after an outrageous game. That one's for the history books. 3-3 on the night, 2 goals in extra time, and Coventry come forward in penalty kicks after the goalkeepers have made an absolutely outrageous performance. But as we head back to the office, we find out that we've been drawn against Crystal Palace in the semi-final. So it's a trip to Selhurst Park and the lads cannot wait, and neither can I. I need to take a breather before the next game because I am knackered. Actually, whoa, hang on a second. I've just realised something. We're not going to Selhurst Park for the semi-final of the FA Cup. We're going to Wembley. And that is absolutely ridiculous. How have I forgotten that? Yes, Coventry City are going to Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final to face Crystal Palace. Amazing. But it's back to matters in the Championship for now. We can't get too far ahead of ourselves because the main objective is still winning the league and promotion to the Premier League. And it's Birmingham up next, who are struggling down in 19th place at the moment. But after our gruelling extra time and penalties match against United, I wasn't able to start Gyökeres in this one due to fatigue, so it's Walton who gets the nod once again. So we get things underway with a crunching tackle on Hamer, and that's definitely a yellow card. Hamer dusts himself down and steps up to take the free kick, and it goes just over the bar with the keeper worried. But the first half was all Coventry, and we finally made the early pressure count as Panzo spreads play to Blackman. It's fired across to Hamer, then Walton, and the youngster who's standing in for Gyökeres puts the Sky Blues into the lead with a composed finish. I don't care about that potential tag, I love this lad, and he's stayed in the team for the long run. Birmingham really hadn't woken up at all in this one so far as Colwill goes close with the header, and we really should have made it 2-0 just before the break as Colwill paces forward. He feeds to Walton, does well to battle in behind one-on-one, and he drags it wide. It remains 1-0 as we head in for half-time. And I did make one sub at half-time with Palmer coming on for Tavsan, who took a knock in the first half, as Birmingham looked to claw their way back into the game. The ball over the top is met by Graham, who finds space to dig out a shot, and Ronin does well to get behind it. But normal service resumes shortly after as Palmer plays in Colwill. It's squared to Kim down the left, and he finds Bidwell on the overlap. He takes a quick touch to steady himself and fires it home, far post to give us a 2-goal cushion. So with the game all but wrapped up, I made 3 changes as Eccles, Dabo and Thomas come in for Sheaf, Blackman and Colwill, who had been great today. And we continued to attack a really poor Birmingham side down the right with Palmer. He finds Thomas in acres of space and he releases Walton. His first time shot hits the outside netting and he knows he should have bagged himself a hat-trick today. Birmingham did wake up just after 70 minutes and gave us a slight scare. Everybody backs off Deeney, so he accepts the invitation, unleashing a powerful effort, and Ronin actually gets a hand to this and it's a brilliant save. The resulting corner is sent in and Dabo's header is poor. Roberts gets on the end of it but he drags the half volley wide. 10 minutes to go now and Ronin plays out from the back. Bidwell plays forward to Kim and he takes off through the middle with runners either side. He plays in Thomas, who sets up the 1-1 with Walton, gets the ball back and bang! It's 3-0 Coventry and that's a beautiful team goal. The left-footed effort seals the victory, and it's another 3 points in the bag for the Sky Blues. I'm not sure why the final score didn't come up at the end of the game there, but definitely 3-0 at the end of play, and it's a 5-point lead at the top of the table with a game in hand. Great position to be in, but we still have work to do. So that's going to do it for another episode of FIFA 23 Career Mode on Petes Dugout. Thank you all, as always, for the continued support. I'm still working on that outro, but I'll be back with another episode very, very soon.